Is eyelash tinting safe? Last week we talked about a woman who in the 1930s walked into a salon for some brow shaping and an eyelash tint and walked out blind. Surely with today's cosmetic regulations that would never happen again, right? Right? If we look on Instagram, I see this. So eyelash tinting is definitely still happening, and I know a friend who just got it done and she seems fine, so it's safe, right? Well, let's see. If you read the FDA website, it explicitly says this: there are no color additives approved for the permanent dyeing or tinting of eyelashes and brows. This could mean that some of the additives can cause harm, so they're not permitted, and this could also just mean that they haven't been tested yet to prove that they're safe. So if eyelash tinting is illegal, then how come I'm able to do this?
Thank you for calling salon. This is
Hi, I am looking to get an eyelash tint for next week. Do you guys have a time available?
perfect. We'll see you at 9:30 on Wednesday for lash tint. It's a plant-based tint.
Okay, got it. Sounds good.
Okay.
I'll see you next Wednesday.
Okay, thank you.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Here's where it gets stupid tricky, because federal law says these dyes are illegal, but the state you live in could permit eyelash tinting or permit it with certain restrictions. Here in California, it's illegal for any licensed professional to have eyebrow or lash tinting in their possession or in a salon, so what just happened here is illegal. In other states, the dye could be permitted as long as it's not permanent, or it has to be included in a formulation that is specifically intended for the eyes. Now, I'm no legal scholar, but in this case, it looks like the state law takes priority over the federal law, unless the federal government wants to march on over and do something about it. So is the FDA just being a total buzzkill, or are they actually trying to prevent you from possibly looking like this? Well, let's talk through eyelash tint and try to understand it a little bit better. Eyelash tint can be found online, in stores, or in beauty salons, and they could contain a number of different dyes that all carry different levels of risk. An ingredient with high risk is something like paraphenylene diamine, also known as PPD. That's what was used on the poor blind lady I talked about at the beginning of this video. PPD is known to cause severe allergic reactions in some people. Even though it's permitted in hair dye, it can still, on occasion, cause an allergic reaction. This is why the FDA encourages you to do a small test on a patch of skin before you dye your hair. But really, how many times have you or your stylist actually done a patch test before dyeing your hair? Exactly. The problem with PPD in eyelash tint is that if you're unlucky enough to get an allergic reaction, it affects your eyes, and you sort of need those. Our skin is thinner around the eyes, so the dye can get into the skin more easily, and if you do have a reaction, you could end up with swelling, irritation, or you can't see. In some cases, it could even lead to permanent injury or death. Even semi-permanent dyes can cause irritation or a reaction. I often hear people talk about using safer eyelash tints made with vegetable dye. But if it produces a dark color and lasts more than a day, then it's not vegetable dye that's dyeing your lashes. And it's not just the dyes that you have to worry about. Preservatives and other unapproved ingredients can pose a risk to your peepholes too. Don't believe allergic reactions happen? Check out this. All people in the last few years that have had bad reactions to dyes in their eyelash tint. This is why it is so important to be informed, know your cosmetic ingredients, and ask questions. Because in the end, the benefits and risks of using these products are yours and yours alone. The FDA doesn't approve cosmetics before they hit store shelves. And although the cosmetic industry works hard to provide safety, some things occasionally slip through or laws vary. Hey, in the EU, eyebrow and eyelash tinting with PPD is permitted. Those injured are few and far between, but if it happens to you, you're gonna have a bad week. So should eyelash tinting be allowed in the US? Should it not? Let me know about it in this poll, and then hop on over to my next video to learn a little more.